town, I met the grain trains rolling down. Every day 100 trains, every train 100 cars, every car 100 tons, every ton 100 sacks, every sack 10,000 grains. And that's what cities get from trains. Some politicians lacking brains said in voices dripping sweet, we don't really need these trains, railroads all are obsolete. They're union strong, it makes demands, they guard their yards with railroad dicks who kick our cops clean off their lands, do not like our politics. As I was going up from town, I met the grain trains rolling down. Every day 100 trains, every train 100 cars, every car 100 tons, every ton 100 sacks, every sack 10,000 grains. And that's what cities get from trains. So the politicians passed some laws to screw more money off the trains and deeper dip their pudgy paws in more control of railroad gains. The railroad said, get off our land. They went on strike to show their peak. The grain trains stopped their rolling and the city starved within a week. As I was going up from town, I met the grain trains rolling down. Every day 100 trains, every train 100 cars, every car 100 tons, every ton 100 sacks, every sack 10,000 grains. And that's what cities get from trains. Hunger riots burned and rose and battered down the State House door, and all those fat politicos were killed and eaten by the poor. And with the city out of joint and no more politician men, the railroad said they'd prove their point and sent the grain trains down again. As I was going up from town, I met the grain trains rolling down. Every day 100 trains, every train 100 cars, every car 100 tons, every ton 100 sacks, every sack 10,000 grains. And that's what cities get from trains.
Let there be game. And there was game. What do we got going? Okay, so names are picked to some extent at random for my single player worlds. You get a little peek here. Gethsemane was a name that came to mind. That was the first world I popped up for this, and the geography was just completely wrong. Oh, hey, our stream quality has gone from unstable to excellent. Maybe Spectrum's getting its shit together. That would be unusual. They're not as bad as Cox. I give thanks to, well, to St. Viticon, I suppose. That I'm not on the worst ISP, but I miss my AT&T fiber. The last place was a terrible place for many reasons. Let's start with the fascist neighbor shooting at us. Just go from there. The place had AT&T optical fiber, though. That road had just had fiber run like 6 months before we moved in. And I was getting a nice clean 2 gig up, 2 gig down on fiber optic for a year, and it was lovely. The only reason I don't have AT&T now is that they do not service this particular street in Lebanon, Tennessee. Lebanon is a bit of a patchwork, and far too much of the town is the lowest bid. but we'll move on. We came here to play Minecraft, not for me to ramble. I'm sorry. It's morning. My morning meds are hitting. Uh, it's a thing. Pause for caffeine. It is by caffeine alone that I set my mind in motion. It is by the beans of Java that the thoughts acquire speed, that the hands acquire shaking, that the shaking becomes a morning. It is by caffeine alone that I set my mind in motion. I did that at work one day, and a couple of the people who were with me just completely lost it. They got the reference, and it's just a thing. Just the fact that I'm able to do it with a straight face. Harold was my second try. Gethsemane, the topology was just all wrong for putting in a railroad. I was going to be doing way too much tunneling and mountaintop removal and building up to grade and bridging, and it was just going to be terrible. So I started a new world to get a new topology seed, and that was Harold, because H was next alphabetically after Gethsemane. And that was going along really well. And then as I was working with getting a locomotive set onto the track and figuring out what I'd been doing wrong, something got loose in the woodland mansion that I had turned into a factory, and it burned down. I turned around and the place is on fire, and I'm like, oh no. At that point, there's nothing you can do. I ran around to the front and discovered that it was already half gutted. It had started on the far corner, and I'm thinking something went wrong with my boiler design, and the boiler exploded. Don't know. And so we are at third try. And third try has been better for a number of reasons. Yes, we are 6 minutes into the stream, and there is finally Minecraft loading. Yes, it's going to be one of those days. I don't know how long I'm going to be on, what I'm going to be doing here. We're just winging it here. Enjoy the ride. And here we are at the cactus farm at the auto smelters. What I did was we are still loading world here. Let us give it a minute here for my poor little processor to try and manage. Oh, there's the shunting engine driven by Shunter Phil pulling into the station. He'll be here for just a few seconds and then he'll move on. We'll go look at that in a minute. Yes, there is rather a lot of create machinery going on here, and it is out in the open, and we are in a desert. For third try, I took no bleeding chances. I went and found one of these little farm buildings. This is from the Immersive Structures mod. I strongly recommend Immersive Structures. It's a lovely mod that introduces a number of new building types that fit with the existing vanilla architecture if you really want to play vanilla. I mean, I suppose somebody does. The building, nice little 2-story farmhouse. I've done not a lot. I put in a Farmer's Delight stove and a schematic table. Didn't do much upstairs. This was melons. I took out the melons and put in a little show garden here, mostly so that I could put up tomato trellises. One of the things I absolutely love about Farmer's Delight is that I can trellis my tomatoes. I can put in 2 strands of rope, and the tomatoes will climb up them, and I get tomato vines, and they're just beautiful. And I love that for the addition to the aesthetic. So all of this is running off this one big windmill. I built a thumper and got the moderate breeze achievement, I think. It hasn't hit the top level of windmill production, but it's cranking along. Power transfer belts are all color-coded purple, so any belt you see that's purple is not part of an active machine. It is for power transfer or other, similar function. See a few of them. So did some gearing up to get my RPMs up. As you do, put in a couple of extra cogs to bring my RPMs up, and then the main power takeoff. Oh, hi. There's the Bamboo Express coming in. Say hi to the Bamboo Express. We'll go up to the train station in a few minutes. I'm going to just do a tour here first. This is partly for my own benefit. I am documenting this particular world. It's been fairly successful. In a little bit, I am going to go work with the Hudson Hornet, and we'll get Henry installed. Shunterfell coming in again. He travels fairly close behind the Bamboo Express. There are signals at the stations now that create segments, that create buffer zones, and I don't have bloody train collisions. This is why signals exist, to prevent train collisions, and we'll go look at that as well. Let's continue. This is just a mill. It runs continuously, and it produces wheat flour and whatever else, I want to throw in. The bonker. This is, the achievement is actually called bonk. You can build a mechanical press, at which point you can make sheet metal, iron sheet, copper sheet, that sort of thing. Critical machine. Generally kept you'll keep it busy for a while. Couple of things going on here. This is an auto crafter, mechanical crafter. I've only used it for a couple of things. It's so big because I originally built it to make the crusher wheels. The crusher wheels are a critical piece of machinery in the Create Tech tree, and we'll see those in a few minutes. Only ever have to make one set of them. I'm sure there's some application where you would need multiple sets if you were doing some sort of huge industrial complex thing. I'm not. And I used it to build the jetpack. I am wearing a jetpack here. Right there, it runs on compressed air, and it is a critical piece of machinery. That's the storage system. One of the little outbuildings that came with the farm, it originally had a farm wagon sort of thing in it. I took that out. I filled it with chests entirely. I put a Tom's Simple Storage connector there, giving me 3,456 storage slots in this one little outbuilding. I currently have 1,869 free. There's a crafting terminal there. The crafting terminal is linked to the wireless terminal here, which allows me to have access to everything in my storage with a crafting interface anywhere I go. Hello. They come around very frequently. You'll get used to it. The beacon within 8 blocks of the crafting terminal allows me to have access to the wireless terminal anywhere in the overworld. As long as I stay in this dimension, I have access to all my stuff and a crafting interface. That is a chunk loader. It's a Create Mod, part of the Create Mod suite. It's an add-on. And yes, I stuck a creative motor on it because I'm not going to faff around with my chunk loader that keeps my wireless terminal and my storage system working. I creatived that in and have absolutely no shame about it. That allows me to do this anywhere I bloody well feel like it. Incredibly powerful. Allows me to get along with all of this much more quickly and actually do model railroading instead of running back and forth, picking up materials and carting stuff around. This machine converts standard track into broad gauge track. And we'll look at broad gauge track in a few minutes. It's not doing anything, partly because I have plenty of broad gauge track in there. Partly because I don't have a design broad gauge track to be able to put a logo on it. Let's stop and look at the train station. Here's the MTA A line coming in. Now this is someone else's design that I imported via schematic from the Create Schematic Archives, big site online, lots and lots of designs for the Create mod. I just brought that in and built it here. This is Factory Station, also known as Yongity Station, because Yongity Bongity Bo, and if you're an Edward Lear fan, you'll get it, and if you're not an Edward Lear fan, there's no explaining it. Catwalk is industrial iron, so that it matches the aesthetic of the factory sitting here. This is bloody great factory. There's a display board. This is a neat thing I've figured out with this game world. The display board shows all sorts of neat information. The top line is static. I've set it to read Factory Station. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in the way. I've got map overlays in the way. And then it shows underneath it a couple of active lines that are derived from the display links. This is a train observer. It watches for a train. Oh, it says, there is a train. It tells the display link, and the display link tells us that the Bamboo Express is currently in the station. It departs in 10 seconds. We know that because we have a display link on the train station. Oh, there went the train station flag down automatically. We'll see. We'll watch that again, and with the next train, Shunter Phil will be along. This is a signal, and it breaks the train track into segments. Here comes Shunter Phil. I want a train signal, please, really quickly. Here is Shunter Phil. Let's make it. There's the flag up showing that there's a train in the station. Goes down, train is released. Signal goes clear. Signal tells Phil that the green segment ahead of him is available for entry. Signals break the track into segments, and you can only have one train in a segment at a time. If there is a train in the segment, the signal goes red, and Phil would have had to stay in the yellow segment here at the station until the train ahead of him moved on past the next signal. Holding a signal in my hand allows me to see all this. It goes away. Oh, here's the MTA back already. And there's our station going active. This display links telling the board over here that it is departing. And there it goes. And this automatically riffles. The display board accumulates information as the trains go around And once they've been around the loop once or twice, then the board just keeps updated, and it's just tied to this station. But it's watching down the line, and it can see the trains moving on the loop. They're part of the network after they've gone around. Now, I'm using this column for driver names. You can use it for route names. It's actually meant to be used for route name. And this is the name of the train. This is the name of the route, which is set on the schedule. And the train schedule, I had one of those out. There we go. Train schedule. We're going to add one and call it Henry Hudson, and check mark and get out of that quick because I want to jump in here and ride around. There's driver 8. Driver 8 is a blaze burner, which is an auto conductor. Rotates to look forward. When you give it a train schedule, when you hand it one of these, it gains a driver's cap and starts driving the train. I'm not controlling the contraption. I'm just sitting here in the deadhead seat, which is, I chose the Bamboo Express because it has a deadhead seat. Here is our first station coming in. It's not quite built the way I really want it. This is Bongity Station. The Bamboo Express is in, and yeah, pearl brick, cherry wood, too tight up against the train. And off we go through the Badlands. Yep. We'll have the occasional little loading glitch. My poor system is really working hard to run this world and stream at the same time. I've got a heat tachometer in the taskbar that is worrying me a bit. This tunnel is why the Botania mod is in. Trading Point Station, there is a water vader here that goes up to an immersive structures trading point. Or hunting camp or something. Not quite sure what it's supposed to be, but there it is. We're going to take this right around, and then we're going to have to calm down with world loading for a little bit. Approaching Henry Station. The name Henry is coming up a lot. Yes, I understand. Can't change the name of a station once it is in service. It messes everything up. You have to take your trains all out of service, then change the name of the station, then edit all the schedules, then put the trains back in service, and wait for them to run a couple of loops. Yeah, I used the Terra Shatterer from Botania to cut most of that tunnel. I got the first leg of it done and said, the hell with this. This is Bow Station, which is under construction. It's back a ways, using verdant brick. I'm going to put a shed roof over the platform and probably use some jungle wood for the posts and trim. And we zoom on around off into the desert, and we'll be coming up to Yongity Station, aka Factory Station. There's the crossover with the Acacia line. Train whistle auto blows as we approach the station. And I jump off, and the Bamboo Express, with driver 8 at the controls, looks ahead and takes off. Part of what I'm going to need to do in this session is to disassemble the Hudson Hornet, which is already on the track over on the Acacia line. Here comes the shunting engine with shunter fill. This is a one-seater with an auto driver. There is no place to ride. It's just on there so that I have another train on. Getting a third train onto the loop was a challenge. The first two I could just do with timing. The third, I started having collisions and had to learn about signals. Signals are a thing. They are a thing, I'll tell you. We're going to sit for a second here and not do any fancy world loading because I'm becoming deeply concerned about my heat stress. Let me readjust my laptop just a touch. See if I can get a little more cooling here. Nice. Watching my tachometer with some degree of concern. So, whoa, doodah! That is the Widowmaker. I don't have a clutch on that damn thing, and yeah, I didn't put a clutch on most of the equipment here, which is a real serious safety violation. I mean, big time. But everything is so interlinked, I can't really clutch out one machine without depowering another, and you know, it's bad design on my part. It was quick and dirty assembly. Do not slap your factory together like this, people. This is just not the way to do it. This thing, the Widowmaker, this is the sawmill. It is currently set up to make stone brick because I have needed a lot of stone brick for the Acacia line. Oh my gosh, so much stone brick. I have also needed a lot of Acacia track, which I currently have a surplus of because I finished the loop. But this is the Create mod, and you end up, it is way too easy to end up making, like, you know, extreme quantities of a thing. Let's see, we haven't gone down to the boiler yet. I have two auto smelters. Right now they're both turning out stone, which I really ought to collect. Let's go on and collect that. And collect that. And I think that's the Hudson. Yeah, let's put the Hudson schematic away. I don't need the Hudson schematic. I've placed it already. We'll take this stone and drop it in the feed chest here. Yeah, the stone cutter noise. Had a trader come by not too long ago. Wandered into the machinery. Heard one of his llamas making some very bad noises, and then later found a leather in the output chest. I'm like, yeah, went and stood on the sawmill, didn't you? That's real quick. It does heinous damage. Which is why there should be a clutch on this damn thing. Turn it on, you know, disengage it when not in active use, but this is the track maker. You put slab in here, anything that will be accepted as sleepers. You put iron nuggets up here to make the rail. Feed them to the deployers. Each one, so the slab comes out, gets 2 nuggets deployed onto it, and then gets stomped with the mechanical press, which turns it into train track. different recipes give you all sorts of interesting things. It is possible to use a variety of materials as sleepers. I do have some birch train track made. I'm thinking about a third line, about putting in a birch line. Let's see, anything else? Although there's a mixer in there set up over a heated basin for doing things like making brass. Now these are making stone. That one's going to be making iron not too long from now. I've kept these busy continuously. One of the rules I set for myself with this world, and I am rapidly overheating. This is not good. I am like, if I can't bring my temperature down, I'm going to lose the stream. Oh, tachometer is looking really bad, really scary. We're just gonna kind of chill here for a minute, see what happens. Oof. Maybe it'll come down a little. One of the problems with Create, as anybody who's ever tried to build a server knows, is that it is very intensive. It is very server intensive. There's a lot of stuff ticking. And there's that windmill. There are trains going. I've got 3 trains driving around and around in the loop here. That is an everlasting guilty pool. That is a creative item from the Botania mod because I was not going to work my way all the way through the Botania mod just to get the Terra Shatterer to dig a train tunnel. So I created in a monopool for recharging and created in the magical pickaxe that takes out a 9x9 area with each swing, and ripped through the tunnel at lightning fast speed because the goal was to build a model railroad, not spend 3 days digging a tunnel. I have been extremely cautious with this go round. Okay, tachometer is easing back from the danger zone. We are looking a little better. Yay, yay. Gave me a bit of a scare. I have been extremely cautious. The boiler is on bare stone, surrounded by sand, well away from the house in a desert. If it explodes, it's only taking out the equipment around it. And I'm running this one a little easier than the last one. The last one I pushed up to a level 7 boiler. This one's a level 6. Now, theoretically, I could push it up to level 7. My water supply is fantastic. I've got plenty of size capacity available. I just need to bring the heat up. But bringing the heat up makes me nervous because my last world, I brought the boiler up to level 7, and that's why I'm suspecting that I may have had a boiler explosion. This all starts with fluid tank. You put blaze burners under it, you get it a water feed, and then you light it up and attach steam engines. And once you attach that first steam engine, it becomes a boiler. And it will give you, well, it won't actually, it won't, you just give it to you. I'm wearing my engineer's goggles in a curio slot under the netherite helmet, which gives me actually a kind of an interesting kind of steampunk, some sort of look here. Got an enchanted netherite helmet with engineer's goggles, the jetpack, which gives me that sort of kerchief-looking thing. The monoweave robe bottom because it bumps up my mana capacity for using the Terra Shatterer. Basically, I'm wearing my pickaxe pants. My magical pickaxe pants. And then the boots have the usual feather falling because I don't like falling damage. And I prefer to play in a survival mode. You know, yes, I am using creative motors on the pumps because I did build a water wheel. It just was not going to ever provide enough oomph to get the water from there to here. That's a lot of lifting. A lot of heavy lifting. Water is heavy. And as you can see, there's a couple of pumps along the way. That poor water wheel just... There wasn't enough torque in the world there. I could have built a second set of 4 water wheels and still not had enough torque to get the water all the way up here. And I needed the water up here. So, conjoining to put all the torque onto a single shaft here. A lot of oomph. 98,000 stress units. This thing makes 512. That was full of lava. You drop lava onto powdered obsidian and then stomp it twice, and you get sturdy sheet, which is necessary for making train casing and a couple of other critical things for railroading. I have plenty of sturdy sheet made. Don't need to be making any more sturdy sheet. I set up a power washer, but it is slow as all get out, and it just, the payoff is so little. I tried gearing it up, you know, tried bringing my RPMs up, and it just, I'm wondering if what kind of, you know, RPM I've got to hit in order to make this thing go anywhere near, you know, that belt is barely crawling. That's terrible. This is the crusher. The crusher wheels, which reduce all sorts of things. This is where powdered obsidian is made. You take obsidian and you hook it into the box, and it drops through the chute into the wheels, which grind on it and grind on it. And I pause for a coffee. And eventually it kicks out a bit more powdered obsidian and the remaining obsidian, because I put in 20 obsidian, I got back 14. Put in 17, got back 14, something like that. It can only it chews on the obsidian cubes and takes a while to grind them down. You lose a few each time. No, the power takeoff belts didn't get dyed over here. This is a hot packer that I used for making industrial iron. You take iron ingot. Well, let's do it. I can always use more industrial iron. Or take it out. This means storage and bippity bip. The basin spits the output onto the conveyor belt, which carries it through the andesite funnel into the chest. One of the things I love about Create is that the processing is all in world like this. You're not just, okay, go to the crafting grid, do the recipe. Okay, you made a magical little box that if you put stuff in, the other stuff comes out. And no, Create, you gotta connect stuff up here. You gotta think about your power transfer, where it's coming, where your power is coming from. You got big stompy mechanical stuff going on here. Big, Industrial Revolution level stuff. One of the things I dearly want to do, and it would be expensive because it would require a big server with a professional admin, because it would require a lot of horsepower and it would require someone to babysit it. But I want to do a server with Create and the full suite, including the trains, and immersive engineering, which brings in electricity, diesel power, mechanism, so that you have your future tech and reactors and Iron Man suits, and the TARDIS mod. So that at the top end you have Gallifreyan technology, and I would be very interested to see. There would need to be a set of unlocks for the players where you get to a certain point in Create and immersive engineering unlocks. Get the diesel generator built and mechanism unlocks. Get a reactor up and running, and now you can go find a TARDIS. Now the question being, this would be a one-shot, because you couldn't lock out new players coming in from the advanced tech, make them work through it on their own. The idea would be to see the advance of a civilization. Maybe we need, the players to have 2 or 3 villages with boilers driving machinery. I don't know. It would take some thought, and it would take some story building and some scripting of some sort. It would take a lot of effort, but I think it would be worth it. And in babbling all that time, the temperature has come down, and we can go start looking at some other stuff and getting on toward the thing that I really wanted to do today, which is to bring the Acacia Loop online. Let's look at a map. Here we are at the Cactus Farm. There's Yongity Station, and this is the first loop. All done with smooth stone for the sleepers, so it's a regular old gray stone track. And it goes around, as we saw, to Bongity at the station, into the tunnel, which here's the trading point up on the surface. There is a glass elevator cap behind one of these buildings that will take you down to the station. Which really hasn't had anything at all done yet. There's a house up there, Immersive Structures Mountain House. That's a zombie village. Here's Henry Station, where again, there is a village, and behind this house there is a glass elevator top that will, so this village has access to rail travel. Comes out here. Here's Bow Station. You can see I'm working on the build. It's a little bit out from the village, but you know, that's life. It's where it was good to build a station. Goes back around. There's the crossover, and then here we have the Acacia line, which goes all the bloody way across this ocean, and that took so much stone brick to build the piers and lay the track and lay that much bridge track. Just holy cats. Let's go look at it. Because we've seen it in the background here, but... Oh, and I should go look at the rough beast. I promised I would look at this. This is broad gauge rail. This sucker is takes up 5 blocks of width. That is serious. This is Isambard Kingdom Brunel's broad gauge. And I want to make one of the locomotives from the Great Western Line so badly, but I have no way to do the giant drive wheel. And it would require too many bogies. This is the rough beast, which slouches toward nowhere, actually. I'm trying to design a locomotive, a broad gauge locomotive, and it's just not going well. So, yeah, no broad gauge right now. We'll worry about broad gauge later. Let's go look over here. Now, I did a schematic to drop the crossover in because I wasn't going to try and lay that rail myself. That looked heinous trying to do it. There's no switches. The trains apparently just route themselves accordingly. That begins this is where the Acacia Loop kind of begins here. And then it goes out over the ocean. And it goes out over the ocean. And it goes out over the ocean. And it just keeps going out over the bloody ocean, doesn't it? I mean, really. We could keep going here. Ah, rain. Yuck. We could keep going, but I mean, we saw on the map what we're dealing with here. So I'm just going to teleport to Oasis Station over by this desert town here. Okay. Minecraft desert city with the big Oz or whatever it is in the middle. Buildings, madrasa maybe, various things going on. That's the train station. I've gotten into the habit of just attaching the train station to the side of the track. And so much of it is elevated. All that stone brick is auto placed. Create uses a leapfrogging way of laying train track, where you click one in, you click a connection point, and then click your next point, and it lays all the track in between, pulling it out of your inventory. Anything in your offhand is pulled and used underneath the track. So yeah, I had to carry vast amounts of stone brick because all that got pulled out of my inventory automatically anytime when I laid the track. The piers, on the other hand, every single one of those columns is hand built. There's just no way around it. I could have used world edit, I guess, but the point is to build a model railroad. So I'm building a railroad. And this goes off to a couple of other stations. Off across rather a lot more water. There is a town with a castle. Minecrafty, this is running 1.20. Castle station where the Hudson Hornet is awaiting us. Excuse me. Goodness. Sorry. Snuck up on me. There's a station here at the Trap Pyramid. That's one of the immersive structures buildings. It's actually somewhat annoying. This is another of those desert farm buildings. Desert farms. It only has one of the tent like structures, and then 3 of the little outbuildings. I haven't figured out what to do with that one at the Cactus Farm. It's a really small building, and I mean, I'm sure I could put something in it. I just haven't figured out. I haven't had a need for it. We're gonna go to Castle Station. Let's go to Castle Station and meet the Hornet. That is a Hudson locomotive. Already on the tracks and assembled. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to the station, Hudson Hornet, and I'm going to disassemble the train. Which knocks loose a piece of track. Dang it. Okay, I need a blaze burner. Not sure, I don't have one, so yes, I am going to just cheat in one. Because I am not going to go to the nether. Oops. I'm missing that. There we go. I'm not going to go to the nether and trap a blaze just so I can put a pilot in this train. Just, I don't know. Got better things to do with my time. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to knock out the seat, stick in a blaze burner, and we see a bunch of super glue goop go up. That's good. Hopefully that's attached properly. That gets that, and we assemble the train, give it its name. Lost its name from being taken apart and put back together. Okay, we name the train, name the station, and I need to start thinking about the loop here that I'm going to put you on, because you're going to start You're starting at Castle Station, so the next station up, I need to actually look at the map and make a list here. We are going to be going, let's see, let me make sure I'm going the correct direction here. The first loop runs clockwise. Acacia loop has to run anti-clockwise for the crossover to work. We're going to go Castle Station. We're going to go to Last Chance. Last Chance to see. We are going to go across the ocean to the crossover. And we're going to go to Youngity. And going to go to Henry because it's the namesake. We're not going to stop at any of the other stations on first loop. Come back around and we're going to go back across going this way to Oasis. Model railroading in Minecraft. Desert Farm. Making all stops on the Acacia line. Trap Pyramid. Castle. I want to put the station we're currently at the very end of the schedule so that Henry doesn't try and go there. Oh, I gotta fix the track. There we go. Get the track fixed. There we are. All right. Let's see. First station we're going to is Last Chance. And we will wait at the station 10 seconds. We will travel to Youngity. We will wait 10 seconds. 10 seconds is the standard delay on the line. It's being somewhat dry, excuse me. We are going to travel to Henry. Henry Station, where we will wait 10 seconds. We will travel from Henry to Oasis. To Desert Farm. I need to go out to the Desert Farm and make sure that the station is named correctly. We will go to... It's called Melon Barn. Dang it. Okay, I gotta edit this one. I renamed it Melon Barn. There's the problem. Ooh, that was... Don't want to use a bogus station name. It'll cause problems. Okay. Trap Pyramid, and then to Castle Station. Okay, and there is Henry Hudson's schedule, where he will be taking the Hudson Hornet around to Last Chance, to Yongity, over to Henry, down to, and then back to Oasis, to Melon Barn, Trap Pyramid, and Castle. Right, I renamed it from Desert Farm to Melon Barn when I had to turn it around going the other way. I had the stations on the Acacia Loop pointing the wrong direction. Forgot that I needed the train to go anti-clockwise. I had to go back and redo all this. Live and learn. Okay. Let's see, this is jungle planks. Let's get some jungle planks, because I'm tired of having to flit out there with the jetpack. Oh, let's have a quick look here. There's the jetpack on my character. I love the animation there with the gears slowly turning. That's cool. And character from the front with the wireless terminal in hand, normally how I'm running around in this world. So, let us go. Okay, there we go. This is a temporary platform. My idea here is that I'll come back, tear it out, and put in a proper station once I get this all working. So I can now talk to the driver, and I have this train schedule, and I'm going to give this driver the schedule, and away he goes. And I'm going to teleport off to Yongity and see what happens, because the Hudson Hornet under Henry Hudson is now on the board, and we are about to see what happens. If I've done everything right, the Hudson Hornet will show up coming across that bridge and pull into this station within the next few minutes. Willamist, hello, greetings, good to see you. We are waiting to see if I've built this correctly and if I've set it up correctly, because right now I've got trains running, and oh, the Hornet just moved up on the board. It's coming in. Here's the Bamboo Express coming around the line, and then the shunting engine with shunter fill. There's the Bamboo Express. Goodbye, Bamboo Express. Oh, here comes the Hornet. Hudson Hornet is in the station. and departs. And shunting engine with shunter fill coming up. I did not, in my creativity, I did not design any of these trains. The trains you see going by are all brought in by schematic. I built the rest of the stuff, yeah, but I wish I could build a locomotive. I'm gonna want to bounce out of here in just a second. Get over Castle to wait and see if the Hornet comes in. Actually, I could wait right here. If I see the Hornet come around, this is the MTA line with Bronx Larry. There's Bronx Larry in the back, the blaze burner with the engineer's cap. Oh, are you seeing the schematics? Yeah. I'm working on it. The first station that I built didn't come out right at all. Working on the second one. Most of the stations are just temporary platforms. What I'm waiting for is to see the Hornet come around. And when the Hornet comes around, it should go through the switchover and shoot off across that bridge. Now, I haven't gotten any issues here with collisions. I shouldn't. I've got signals out. I've figured out the whole signal thing. Come on, come on, come on. Alright, there's the Bamboo Express coming around. So if it's made it all the way around, that means the line's clear. There's the Hornet. Brilliant. There goes the Hornet. Let's bounce over to Castle Station. This is its home station. This is where the train started from. And so this is the goal, is to see it come into the station here. Now, this is a Minecraft generated town with castle that I've simply wrapped a train line around. As you can see on the map here, there's the castle and so forth. And all I did was wrap the train line around it. There will eventually be a proper train station here. Oh, I need to build a display board. I don't have a display board up. I don't have the observers up. Lack of information is going to mess me up here. Alright. Well, while we're waiting, let's look and see. Display. Display link. Cogwheel. Better handy. No Hornet yet. By the way, yeah, we can see, the train segments, the rail segments here. Green segment there, yellow segment for the train station, a green segment down that way, and then there's another signal. So the train station, this yellow segment can only have one train in it at a time. If there is a train in the station, that signal there will go red, and trains will not be allowed to leave the green segment and enter the yellow segment until the train in the station leaves and passes the signal into the next green segment. There's another signal out there again to create so that I've got a buffer zone there. Here's the Hornet coming around. Brilliant. It has completed its first run. The train has completed its first run on the schedule and is rolling out for its second go. Absolutely brilliant. I now have train service on the Acacia line. So that train is heading off for Last Chance Station. I can now take one of the first loop lines and make it go to a couple of the Acacia loop lines. So take it out of service. Change the skin, add to the schedule. I'm going to do the Bamboo Express because it's got the deadhead seat. And I'm going to send it to Oasis, Melon Farm, and Castle. Looking at I need to look at, how it's going. It's Oasis, Melon Farm, Castle because it runs anti-clockwise. Try this. Let's go to the Cactus Farm. This is my base where I've been building all the stuff. And there goes the Bamboo Express. We just missed it. Wait for it to come back around. I need to get a display board built at Castle Station so that at least I have the display board. It'll be a temporary installation, but until I go back and redesign and redo the station as a proper station. Yeah, the whole industrial iron catwalk thing seemed appropriate here because factory. Okay, that's Shunter Phil coming around. Leave him alone. He's just there because I needed another engine on the track. I'm waiting for driver 8. Gotta talk to her and add stations to her schedule. The catwalk is all Create Mod stuff, part of the Create Mod suite. I don't remember if it's part of the Create Deco or if it's in the main or what. You make industrial iron and then you can do all sorts of fun stuff. You can do catwalk and other metals as well. Hey. Wait for Bronx Larry to go through. 8 minutes to the next Hudson Hornet. Oh, we're now getting proper tracking. It's completed its first loop. Oh, little pause there. Could have been waiting for a signal to clear. MTAA line is a little close to the Hudson Hornet. We may have just seen the signals doing their job. Yeah, I think it's Deco. There are several Create add-ons that don't support Fabric Quilt, but Deco is good. I'm running under NeoForge for this instance. And so, yeah, I don't have strong feelings about Fabric versus Forge slash NeoForge. Okay, here comes the Bamboo Express. We're going to talk to Driver 8. We got to take her schedule away and revise it. On into the station. Okay, now I have the schedule. This train is now out of service. Drops off the board. Now, I wanted to add, let's see, where do I want to add? After Bow Station, I want to add travel to Oasis. And we'll wait 10 seconds. And we'll add Melon Farm, Melon Barn. And we'll add Castle if I can. There it is, Castle. Okay. Okay. Ha! Look at that. Look at that. The signal went red and Shunter Fill is stopped. No collision today. Okay. I'm going to go on and... Oops. Board. Here we are. All right, and Driver 8, now following this schedule, departs in 10 seconds. And we will just take the deadhead seat. I like it from a server standpoint. I want to learn Fabric modding. Insert picture of Marge Simpson here. I think it's neat. I have heard that Fabric is a better loader than Forge for a couple of reasons. I'm not a developer, so really couldn't tell you. Yeah, this is the first station, and I crowded the platform way badly. It's not a good design. It's really not a good design. I may tear it out and redo it. Didn't like it. Don't like it. Notice that the Hudson Hornet is not on the schedule for that station. Doesn't stop there. But it's still not as well supported. Pointing out that I am not controlling this train. Driver 8 there is taking care of this. Okay. I have to move my train observer. It's a little too far out, and I need to bring it forward one. That's kind of annoying. All right, we're going to Henry Station next. Henry, well, we can't see the bottom line right now, but the Hudson Hornet will be stopping here. Which you can, yeah, so you can see the line is there. Just can't see it from the cab here. Bow station. Bow station has copper catwalk and verdant brick and jungle wood for the wood accents. I'll be doing all the stuff in there in it. Okay. Let's see what happens here. This ought to be fun. If it works right, we'll go through the crossover, which we did, and we are now heading out across the ocean. We can see up in the corner on our Zero's mini-map. There we go. Oh, I'm banging up my heat so bad right now. Oh, lordy, my tachometer is climbing. Oh, there's the Hornet. Stopped there. Over at Last Chance. We just stopped at Oasis. Probably waiting for signals to clear. Off we go this direction. Interesting sight off to the right up here. There was a shard of Laputa used. Here's Melon Barn, where we are making a stop. The eponymous Melon Barn. The Trap Pyramid, brought in by Immersive Structures, and the one annoying thing they did, because it has a trap, but it does not have any treasure, as far as I can tell. There's nothing under it. Kind of annoying. Nice, long, relaxing ride through brushland. This is my first ride around the Acacia Loop. The Hornet doesn't have a passenger seat. There's the town with the castle. Signals. And we have arrived at Castle Station. Here we are at Castle Station. Driver 8 says we're ready to go. We're going. Last Chance Station, which we don't stop at. Not on our schedule. Off we go across the ocean. Oh, loading delay. Watching the tachometer for the heat. Fingers crossed. My poor little laptop is struggling a bit. We go through the crossover and we come up to Yongity Station. Fantastic. Jump out of the seat and off the train. Driver 8 looks at us for a moment, and then when their schedule clicks, eyes front, and away they go. Brilliant. Okay, I have succeeded in integrating 2 train lines. and have a dog barking. Sorry about the dog barking. Hold on. Okay. I have 2 loops with a train from each one crossing over to the other. I'm very excited about this. I've got 4 trains running at this point. I'm yeah, just beside myself. That's impressive. I played around with trains, but I'm far from creative enough to do much with them. I'm just basically seeing what I can do with them. I've gotten on this kick where I'm just absolutely determined I'm going to do model railroading in Minecraft. And so I'm doing bloody well railroading in Minecraft. You know. I tried doing it with a couple of different mods. Immersive railroading, I would dearly love to be able to do. I mean, that mod has a shunting hook as one of the tools. That's both gratifying and terrifying at the same time. I don't know if you know anything about railroads, but using a shunting hook is how people ended up with prosthetic arms courtesy of the railroad. Yeah, but immersive railroading I just cannot get to work. I've tried it under 16.5, and I've tried it under, I think 19.2. Tried it under 2 different versions. Oh, and I went back to 12.2 and tried it there as well. Immersive railroading, I can't get the casting basin to build. It's one of the big multi-block things. You have to build this huge multi-block structure and then tap it in the right place with the hammer, and it just won't build. Cannot get it to do it, and without the casting basin, the rest of the mod won't work. That's the first thing you have to do. You have to be able to make castings. Whoop! There went the Bamboo Express off across. Going to the Acacia Loop stations that are in Driver Eat's schedule. The next thing, really, at this point for Create Mod is loading and unloading. Because these trains are capable of hauling goods, blocks, fluids. You know, I could set up a factory making biodiesel and have a tanker car maybe attached to the shunting engine. That would be an appropriate place to put a tanker car for moving fuel from one place to another. Could put a tanker car in there and have Phil stop at the factory and the system automatically fill his tanker car with biodiesel, and then have him stop at a generating station and have machinery that automatically unloads the biodiesel into storage tanks for use at the generator. And the really cool thing is that it'll run even in unloaded chunks. I don't have to put a chunk loader on the factory to be able to pick up the fuel. Lordy, getting 4 trains running. wow. I've been working on this for a week. It's just getting all this built. And here's the first loop. That tunnel there, we saw it earlier. I rode through it in the Bamboo Express. I dug the first segment of it with a netherite pickaxe with some big enchantments on it, and got to the end of the first segment and said, the hell with this. Added the Botania mod to the mod pack, got the Terra Shatterer, and ripped through segments 2 and 3, segment 2 the long one, and segment 3 out to here in a lot less time. Because the Terra Shatterer, of course, will take out a 9x9 section of blocks in in each hit, and you can just zoom through tunneling. That also gave me extreme amounts of cobblestone, all of which have gone into the auto smelter to make the stone bricks to build these bridges, because the acacia line took some time to do. Navigating the line was the easy part. Processing all that cobblestone into stone brick. Did your tunnel pass through any decent caves? Not really. Not really. Let's wait for the Bamboo Express here, and I'll just hop aboard it and you can see. There was one crevasse, and yeah, other than that, I chose my grade level at 80 because that's what the grade level is here where I laid my first track, and so at a grade level of 80, you know, the more interesting caves are generally deeper. Give it just a minute here. Driver 8's coming around. I think Driver 8's coming over from the Acacia Loop at this point. I believe I set her up to come from Castle over to Yongadi. Yep, there's the Bamboo Express with Driver 8 coming up. We'll jump on board, and I'm just thinking how cool it looks spinning a bridge through one of those huge things. I've done that, and it does look fantastically cool. All aboard, do not touch the controls. Nice front, here we go. I'm going to travel to Trading Point Station and hop off there, and we'll poke around a little bit. I really need to tear this out and rebuild it. I like how the cherry wood came out and contrasting with the pearl brick, but I crowded the track badly, and I need to build the whole thing up 2 blocks so that I have a platform on level with the train and not on level with the track. So yeah, we'll want to look at that. A lot of what I'm going to be doing from this point, I think, is station building. I need to go through and work on the stations. A couple of them are just, well, you'll see. Okay, so going into the tunnel, yeah, we haven't seen anything real interesting yet. Here's Trading Point, and I'm going to bail here. Wait for the train to depart. Ooh, Shunterville is awfully close. Let's pop upstairs for a second and see what's there. This is a very long elevator, yes. Okay. Oh, there's a sheep. Okay. This is... yeah, it had its issues. This is a auto-generated structure that failed to generate a floor in a good chunk of it. Little bit of a problem. I've been meaning to come back and put platforms underneath the tents. I'm thinking this is some sort of processing camp for hunters, because I've got a smoker here and a fletching table, and it's full of meat and bread and coal, and then maybe a bit of this other stuff. But this is some sort of processing camp or something. And there are 4 tents, and so yeah, that's basically what I've brought this to. Up the road a little bit, there is that house, but it's a little difficult to get to. Let's pop back downstairs. And then just look at the map. Because we can see here, we came in here and didn't pass through much of anything for a while. Came around here, we're just short of this big granite cave here. We just nicked the edge of. And so there is a bit of bridging, but not much. There's a little bit more down here where this gets a little weird, because there's a crevasse that is bridged and then curved over, and we'll go look at that in a minute. That's at Henry Station. But you wanted to know about interesting caves. The route not far from a decent mine, though. Yeah, I mean, there's a mine here. There's some deep dark. There's all sorts of stuff available. I've got no shortage of resources here. Let's go down to Henry Station and have a look at that. And I'm just going to go the quick way here. Oh, hi! Got here just in time to see the A-line departing. Ooh. Okay, we got several things coming in. Now over here, this one did pass through a little bit of interesting cave there. You saw that section of glass. And then it just comes up right behind this guy, this cleric's house. And like right in the middle of his garden. Sorry about that. Okay, yeah, there is a little bit of cave above us there. The more interesting bit is over here, where, I mean, we can see there's a lot of ore. I was getting a lot of coal and iron, and that's about it. This opens into Granite Cave going off that way, and there you can see where I had to build the glass. Let's just flit up there a second. Yeah, I had to build up for the elevator to work. Not a vast amount of stuff that I would necessarily call interesting here. Oh. My piloting is a little rough here. I've got the hover mode turned off. There's some good materials. I mean, there's scoria here. I've gone through veins of limestone and various other things in the process, but I mean, this is basically kind of it as far as cool cave. Other than, I mean, there was this where I passed through a section here. Let's see. Let's bounce to right here and hope I don't get hit by a train. Yeah, because this cut through a cave here. There is a good sized cave that there's some torches in, and you know, but the track just, you know, shoots through there and it's through the floor of the cave. You really can't see much. There you go. There goes Phil. So that's basically all right. That's where it stands here. I've got I've got things running, the loading and unloading, and biodiesel, because I've got the mod in to be able to do plant oil and seed oil and ethanol and make biodiesel and run a diesel generator in Create in order, you know, instead, so I can have a little diesel generator instead of a windmill or a boiler. So that's up next. That's going to be a while. I am going to wrap up here. Can't wait to see where you go from here. I will probably come back to this world in a future stream. I'm going to be taking some time off to play with it during the week. Maybe next weekend. I don't know. Depends on what's happening, what kind of a mood I'm in. So I'm going to wrap here, and let me switch to here and go to there we go. Go to the correct screen. Here we go. And gonna wrap up here. Thanks for being here, Willow. Appreciate it. Appreciate the company. Yeah, I'm thinking next time biodiesel. See where we go. Until then, I'm the Wandering Beekeeper.